mic's not working. Okay, I'll try to speak up so you can hear and or nod off appropriately. So we're deeply grateful for you coming tonight in support of 211 generally, and I think also just to help and be with us to recognize all the incredible supporters that we have in this room that have made 211 possible. I thought I'd start out with where I left things off last year, actually. I pulled a little excerpt from my remarks last year because they were so awesome. I thought, wow, I've got to say these again. But I think it'll give you a little bit of a context for where we were this time last year. So I said these very things to you. I said, I would love to leave my remarks at that, but unfortunately we're also at a funding crossroad. The
United Way, hey, wow, perfect timing. The United Way Interface Boards, Wally Bobkowitz, Supervisor Long, Dave and I have been alerting our colleagues, civic and community leaders, and philanthropists around the county to the need for sustainable funding. That's where we were last year. Interface and United Way have invested the bulk of funding for 211 over the 4 years. This cannot and should not continue. For the first time this year, our 211 funding has declined, even as the calls continue to climb and the callers get more desperate in their requests. Again, think about where we were all at last February, right? Starting in December, Interface was forced to reduce call handling staff, which means that some calls go unanswered today to 211. This is a serious development and underscores how critical it is that we support this vital service. Well, I'm really delighted to tell you that we had so many step up this year. The cities and the county was there again, and even some of the different county departments stepped forward in a new way to support 211, that we can today say that we definitely turned it around this last year, and we were able to put the staffing back, we were able to answer the calls like we were before, and so many of our neighbors who are really calling with just desperate situations, and that is, I think we see the headlines, we know what's going on out in the community and with the economy, but so many just desperate needs for support. Today, your 211, and it really is yours because collectively you are making it happen. Your 211 is answering the phone for so many in need in our community. So please give yourself a round of applause for that. So I'm just really delighted to be able to report that to you tonight, that we are 211's going strong at this point, and as you know, we really need to be going strong. The difficulties that our neighbors are having are really tremendous. Before, we were seeing individuals call in for a particular issue, maybe they had 2 issues, maybe even 3, and now it's really multiplied. Now folks are calling in saying, yes, my husband's lost his job, but also now we've got this issue, and we think we're going to get evicted, and what do we do about this? And so it's not just that the numbers are more, it's that the depth of the work is much more difficult, and it's so much more needed. As Supervisor Long said, the core support, we're talking about funding, food instability for residents in our own communities here. Those numbers have really just jacked up pretty significantly. And so these are the kind of, didn't think that was going to last, it's all right. These are the kind of resources that callers are asking for when they pick up the phone and dial 211. We'll hear a little bit about the public health response that we were able to do with the H1N1, and you'll hear about that from Barry in a few minutes. But I do want to just highlight the fact that over the 5 years that 211 has been up and running in Ventura County, we've helped along the lines of about 90,000 callers. So think about that. So to Leo Bunnan, 90,000 calls that have come in to the 211 service. It was able to happen because of you. And to everyone else in this room who have gotten their checkbook out, written a check to United Way, to support United Way, first 5,
you have really made it possible so that we can have gotten critical information into the hands of kids through their families in that 5-year period of time. So 90,000 people, that's a lot of help that has happened because of you. I know we've all been tracking what's been happening in Haiti, and it's just one misery after another, right? Just a really rough and difficult situation on a good day, and then with this disaster hitting, it's really brought home what a desperate situation those of our kind of fellow humans are in Haiti. And I think it does sort of point a spotlight on the blessings that we all have, the privileges that we have in our society, in our great country, in our community, and yet in our own backyard, there are families that are struggling as well, that have been devastated by job losses and just the difficulties that happen in families. And yet, here you are, making a difference with each of those families, each of those kids that are impacted because of the support that you've given to 211. I really do want to give a special thank you to Dave. Dave is someone who has really been instrumental to make 211 happen. And it's not easy. It's not easy to focus that kind of support on a program, sustain that program year after year. And I just try to think back to 6 years ago, 7 years ago, when Dave and my predecessor from Interface were really sitting down saying, hey, we're hearing about this 211 thing happening in other parts of the country. We can do that here. It's one thing to jump on the bandwagon after it's kind of gotten going. It's another thing to be the one that's first out of the gate to really make something happen. And so it really is an amazing thing for our community that Dave and the support of the United Way Board was really there from the beginning to step forward and make 211 happen. And absolutely 211 would not have happened in the way that it did without our United Way support. So please join me in thanking Dave for that. That's leadership, and that's a hard thing to come by sometimes.